We're on 82, pay bays. Gufa. Rav Yeshua ben Levi, Rav Yehuda Emasai uvameh b'mishtasenu. Whenever Rav Yehuda says, when does this halacha apply, right? He's not coming to argue. He's just coming to explain the sheet of the Chachamim. However, Rav Yochanan Omer Emasai lefaresh, when he says Emasai, that means he's not arguing. But ubameh dvar mamorim, that's lachlog. Then he comes to argue. Freik the Gemara of Emasai lefareshu. I'll show you an example that the Emasai is also arguing. Vatnan. The Elu en Apsulim. The following categories of people cannot give testimony in court. Hamesachek baku as a witness. Hamesachek bakubia, if you gamble with dice. Malva beribis, if you loan money with interest. Mafriche yonim, you race horses or doves. The sachrei shvi is people who do business with shmita. Comes Rabbi Yehuda Emasai bisman she'elo umnes elahi. You know when he's invalidated? If this is his profession. Yesh lo umnes shelo yarez a kosher. The Tanya lo bebraisa. The chachamim are bein she'elo umnes elahi, bein she'yesh lo shelo yarez a pasul. So you see very clearly that even though he used the word Emasai, he's not coming to explain the lashon of chachamim. He's coming to argue. So the Gemara says. And this is Hagid Rav Yehuda Rav Tarfoni. This is Rav Yehuda saying in the name of Rav Tarfon that the Tanya Rav Yehuda b'shem Rav Tarfon la'olam ein echad me'am nazir. Two people see a nazir coming, and they say, "I'm going to be a nazir like him," and the other says, "I'm, hareini nazir like him," and he doesn't really say it. Neither of them are naziris. Lefisha ain't naziris and a flaw. They have to enunciate clearly. Alma kivin the mesafkalei nazri lo nazri who. So since it's a suffix whether he's a nazir lo mishtabi nafshe, he doesn't he doesn't make a firm decision whether he's going to be a nazir. Chanami kivin the lo yada ikani lo gomer makna. Here as well. When he plays gambling. It's like a gazlan. And it's very clear that he's going to be posel le'edus by a gazlan. Hadla chalon. Okay, new perek Shmini. New perek. Ketzad mishtatfin batchumin. How do we make a shituf mavu? How do we make a eruv tchumin? Maniachas achavis. He puts a barrel of food at the place where he wants to make the tchum. He makes the eruv tchumin for the whole city. For anybody who wants to go visit somebody sitting shiva, he wants to go to a wedding, because we always make an eruv tchumin for the sake of a mitzvah. Those who accepted the eruv tchumin from before Shabbos, then it's okay. It works. But if he waited to accept it until nightfall after Shabbos, then it doesn't work. The eruv doesn't work once nightfall hits. You only make an eruv tchumin if you need it for a mitzvah, like a wedding, or to receive your Rebbe. My kamashma law. Now, what are you teaching me here, Tanina? It says very clearly for a mitzvah. I'll just say maybe the Mishnah Orcha de Milsik Tony just gave us a common example. So kamashma law that no, it's dafka only for a mitzvah. You have to accept the eruv tchumin from erev Shabbos. Shramina, ein breira. You can't use retroactive designation that when You designate it on Shabbos, you could say it was always what you wanted when Shabbos came in. Because the Yesh Brera Tigla Milsa Marfedim, you would have done retroactive designation. On Ravashi, means it has to do when he was informed. If he knew about the Eruv from before Shabbos, even though he didn't decide he's going to use it until afterwards, it's a good Eruv.
Hi, Ernie.
Hi.
He's good. He's good, the guy, no?
Yeah, very good.
Where
he
were
once
you?
spoke at my home. I think you were there. He once, remember when they were having all of those terrorist bombings? He once spoke at my home about, remember the emergency room doctor and his daughter that got killed. And he talked about the emergency room preparations that they were doing. We had like a Mizrahi Malava Malka with him once.
Yeah, he's very good, very smart.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. So we started the new parak, Pei Beis. Amravasi Cotton Ben Sheish Yotze Berevimo. A child 6 and under is considered connected to his mother and can follow the mother's Eruv. He doesn't need his own Eruv. Can go, if it's a cotton that needs the mother, can go out with the mother's Eruv. A cotton who doesn't need the mother needs his own Eruv. Ein yotze berevimo. Utnan nami gavi sukkah ki hay gavna. Cotton shetzarach liimo. A cotton that doesn't require his mother al schino chayav b'sukkah. Vavinamba. What's the definition of that kind of cotton? Is there cotton shetzarach liimo? What's a child that doesn't need its mother? He can clean himself after going to the bathroom. And Rav Shimon Lakish Amar Kol Shanir Ve'ena Korei Ima. When he wakes up from sleep, he doesn't say mommy, mommy. So Ima Sakadaita Gedolim Nami Kor. I mean, adults also wake up and call for their mother. Ela Ema Kol Shanir Mishnot Ve'ena Korei Ima Ima. Ima means like a mommy, mom, not just mom, not just a one-time call, but he calls out. The kama. So here the Baraisa says that the definition of a child that doesn't need its mother is 4 or 5, and not 6 like our Mishnah. We're talking about a case where the father laid an Eruv to the north and the mother to the south. Even up to 6 years old, the child sort of follows its mother because they go under the mother's apron. After that, he's in after that age, he follows the father. Meisvei, I'll ask you a kasha. Cotton shetzarach liimo, yotze be'ervimo, ad ben sheish. So that's clearly tiyufta Reshub and Ravidi, who said it's 4 or 5 tiyufta. So it's a kasha. Lemitev tiyufta Ravasi. Well, Ravasi said ad ben sheish, and he said sheish and lamalo. I'm like Ravasi ad va'ad bichlal. I mean, say ad sheish includes the 6th year, so it's not a kasha Ravasi. Lemitev tiyufta Rav Yaniv Reish Lakish. Let it be a machlokas Rav Yaniv Reish Lakish, also who said 4 or 5. Like kasha. Depends whether the father is in town or not. If he can go with the father because he's in town, then we don't say he's connected to the mother, even when he's 4 or 5. But if there's no, then you can wait until 6. If there's no father in town, because even a 6-year-old kid will rely on his mother. Tarabonon, ma'arev adam ayidei bno uvito aktanim. That a person can make an Eruv on behalf of his minor children. Ayidei avdo v'shivchaso aknanim, as well as his avodim. Bein l'daita and bein shaloi daita. And you can do it without them knowledge. Avalenu marav lo ayidei avdo v'shivchaso ivrim, but his Eved Ivri or Amo Ivri, he has to inform them. You can't do it without their knowledge. V'lo ayidei b'no v'ito gdolim, not his adult children. V'lo ayidei ishto, ela midaita. Those people you have to inform. Tanya Idich, there's another brisa. Lo ya'arev adam ayidei b'no v'ito gdolim. That you cannot make an Eruv on behalf of your b'no v'ito gdolim. If you're going to make an Eruv for your adult children or for your Eved Ivri or for your wife, they have to know about it. They can be included in the Eruv without their knowledge. Their hand is his hand. The kulan she'irvu, the Eruv aleim Rabban. Let's say they made an Eruv and their master made an Eruv. Yotzim Mishal Rabban. They followed their masters. Chutz min ha'isha, except the wife. She can protest and say, I want to rely on my own Eruv. Now, Isha Maishna, why is a woman different? Amar Rabba, it's not different. Isha v'chol tedamilos. It's an Isha and B'no Vito Agdolim and Eved Ivri. It's not just Isha. It's anyone like her, an adult. They can rely on their own. Amar Mar chutz min ha'isha b'nei sheyecholos limchol. She can protest, but it sounds like she has to protest. Time of the machi. Let's say she was silent. Hastama nafka d'b'debaylo. Then she follows the husband's aim. My loved Amri in. If the Reisha said she has to know about it, it must be that it's not enough to be silent. That she has to say, yes, I agree. Where's this law? No, daita means they're silent. They don't protest. We assume that their silence means that they don't protest, they agree with it. As opposed to when they say no. But we said if they made an Eruv and their master made an Eruv, we say they followed their master. Ustamahu. And that was a silent case. Uktani chutz min ha'isha, where it seems that it's excluding the case of an Isha from being silent. The lo nafki. What are you talking about? Once a woman makes her own Eruv, excuse me, there's no greater protest that she doesn't want anything to do with his Eruv than her laying down her own Eruv. Mishnah. Now, when you're making the Eruv Tchumin to go beyond 2,000 ames, how much food do you have to leave for the Eruv? Kama ushir. Mazon shtei sudas l'kol echad v'yachad. You need food for 2 meals for each person. Mizona l'chol v'lo Shabbos ti Reb Meir. Weekday meals and not Shabbos meals. Rav Yehuda Omer l'Shabbos v'lo l'chol. Rav Yehuda says it's Shabbos food. Zev v'zeh miskavin la'akel. According to Rav Meir, we eat more on Shabbos. According to Rav Yehuda, we eat more during Chol. So it wants to give us a leniency to be the least amount of food possible. Rav Yochanan bar Omer mekikar b'pudyin mar b'soin b'sela. You need a loaf of bread, which is bought from a pundian, which is 1/48 of a sela, where you bought 4 sa'ah of flour with 1 sela. That's the amount for stay sudas. So it's a chatzi kav, a half a kav. Rab Shimon Omer shtei yodis lekika misholosh kav. He says it's a smaller shear, 2/3 of that. There's a certain amount of a size of a loaf that you have to eat in a house that was afflicted with leprosy. It means if you spend as much time to eat this kind of loaf, chatzi pras, that period of time, 9.5 minutes, which would make you tummy if you took that time to eat that size loaf in a leprosy house. Or if you ate tummy dika food and makes you tuma, you have to eat a certain amount. So kama mazon shtei sudas amar Yudam Rav tarti rifta ikarisa. It's 2 loaves of bread that the farmers would eat. Ravada barva tarti rifta nar papita. It's the kind of loaves that they made near the river Papa. Who does your father hold? Like Rav Meir Sfir Lay. You hold like Rav Meir in our Mishnah, which was for Moslem Lachol. Anonamic Rav Meir Sfir Lay. The Ikra Yehuda Kasha Hada Amri Inshi Rav Chol of Sima Shchiach. Because it would be a Kasha on Rav, who said it was Shabbos. You would think that if you eat fine delicacies, you'd eat more of it. And that's why Rav Yehuda held that the shear was greater. These amounts seem about equal. The word says, me dummy. Rabbi Yochanan, arba sudas l'kaba, 4 sudas for a cup. Rabbi Shimon, chas sudas l'kaba. There were 9 meals for a cup, so they're one is significantly different. Because you have to pay 1/3 to the grocer. Ends up 9 versus 3. He holds that you don't give 1/3 to the chenvi, you give 1/2. So then it comes out akati lamar teish lamar tamnin. Then according to Rabbi Shimon, it's 9. The Rabbi Yochanan is 8. So now it's close. That's why it said it looks equal. Kasha Rav Chisda, who had a different shear. Do you have to add the firewood to bake when you bought the loaf? If you bought it from a grocer, you'd have to throw in the a certain amount of the price to buy the wood to cook the bread. That's why it's a different shear. Okay, so I suggest that tomorrow we learn at 4 o'clock. Okay?